Most digital volt ohm meters, or DVOMs, have a continuity mode. And a continuity mode is really useful. You're not concerned about an actual resistance value. You're just concerned, do you have continuity? Do you have a continuous connection from point A to point B? This particular DVOM, for the continuity mode, all it says is buzz. It's actually the 200 ohm scale and then buzz. So if you turn it on to the 200 ohm or buzz scale, if you put the two leads together, you get a tone. That's it. So you could check a wire, you could check a switch, check whatever you like. In this case, here's a fuse. I could touch one lead of my meter to this terminal and one to this one. Doesn't matter which one. And as long as I get a tone, I have continuity. I'm not concerned, again, about a resistance value. Like, here's a good example of a good use of the continuity mode. I was watching someone actually diagnose a brake light that was not working. And one of the first things they did is they removed the bulb, they held it up to the light, and they took a look at the two filaments. It's a dual filament bulb. They said both filaments look good, so then they eliminated the possibility of the bulb being bad. Well, actually, a lot of times you can have a bad filament and the break is so small you can't see it. But if you use the continuity mode, if you put one lead on the outer shell of the bulb, and this is a very old type bulb, this style, but still it's very similar with bulbs today, although the actual mounting is different. And then here would be the two contacts. Typically one would be for brake lights, one would be for running lights. If we touch this contact, we get a tone. That means there's continuity through that connection, through that filament. If we touch the other one, we get nothing. So this one would be a good filament in that bulb. This one is open. And again, we're not concerned with the amount of resistance in it. We just want to hear a tone. And the fact that we have a tone means that we have continuity or a continuous circuit. Something to be aware of when using the continuity mode on your DVOM is that there's going to be a threshold built into the meter that will prevent that beep from occurring if you're testing something that has over a certain amount of resistance in it. In other words, the limit, the threshold for this particular meter is 50 ohms. That means if you're testing something that has over 50 ohms of resistance, it may have continuity, but the buzz isn't going to sound. And this can fool you. So if you get into the habit of just using the continuity mode for everything, you might run into a situation where it could lead you in the wrong direction. And here's a good example. Here's an old spark plug wire. If I put one lead into one end of the spark plug wire, I put the other lead into the other. First off, I'm reading a 1. Well, a 1 in this meter means over limit or over range. A lot of meters actually will display OL if they're over the range of the range that you're in. You might have an auto-ranging meter, which is great. This one isn't. Auto-ranging meters are often a little more expensive, and they're a good thing, but that's probably the topic of another video. This one's manual ranging. So if I switch to the next higher range, which is actually 2,000 ohms, it's now showing me the resistance of this wire at right about 1,500 ohms or 1,544 ohms, which might be good for this wire. We'd have to check the specification. But that means this wire has continuity. There is continuity in this wire, but we don't get a tone. And the reason we wouldn't get a tone is that because if it's over 50 ohms, you won't get a tone. So in most cases, you're going to use your continuity meter to see the resistance of a wire connection, a light bulb, a switch, something like that, a fuse. But if you are testing something that has more than whatever that threshold resistance is, and in this case it's 50 ohms, then you won't get a tone, but the component you're working with is actually a good component. So that's something you need to be aware of. Other than that, I'd say the continuity mode is really useful, and hopefully this was helpful. Thanks for watching.